Hi friend, we are having a Moroccan themed dinner party. I invited some ladies over and they're coming over in a few hours. So I want to show you how I get ready for my dinner party. Tonight we're going to have a mezze platter for our appetizer along with kofta kebabs. And for dinner we're going to have a beet salad with braised chicken and lentils, a sweet and smoky roasted salmon, some roasted green beans, and a vegetable couscous. And since I'm putting so much energy into the dinner, I've outsourced for my desserts. So I have a friend who's coming to the party who's a great baker, and she's bringing a cake, and I bought some baklava so we can enjoy with our Moroccan mint tea for dessert. So when the ladies come in, I'm going to present them with a cocktail called a Moroccan mint tea julep. And for this drink, I need a simple syrup. Now, the reason why you want to have a simple syrup is a way to get sugar into cold drinks. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of water and an equal 1 cup of sugar. It looks like a lot, but the heat will cause it to dissolve. The flame can be a medium to high temperature. It's all according to how much patience you have. So after the sugar is starting to dissolve, you want to make sure that it doesn't boil and form crystals. You just want it to dissolve. Your water's clear, that means your sugar has dissolved, and I'm going to turn the fire down and put in some crystallized ginger and some cinnamon sticks and a couple of cloves. And I'm actually going to turn the fire off and just let that steep to give the nice flavors and aroma. So not only will it give a sweetness, but it'll also give some cinnamon taste, some clove, and of course that spicy ginger after note. So we're gonna let this cool and we'll bring it back out when we're ready to make our cocktails. First, we're gonna start by making the lamb koftas. And we're gonna make the sauce, the yogurt sauce to go with the koftas. So I start off with a little bit of Greek yogurt, and I'm going to mix that with a lot of fresh herbs. So I have some dill, some parsley, and some mint, and cilantro. Mix that in. You want to use fresh herbs here instead of the dry ones because it just brings a brightness that your guests will really enjoy. I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice and some lemon zest. And that juice of the lemon will give it a nice consistency that's great for dipping in your koftas. Season with a little bit of salt and pepper. And remember, we're not using this until the appetizer, so just when people are coming in. But the earlier you do this, the better the flavors will meld and marry. So we're doing this first, and we'll cover this and use this for later. So we're gonna start with the ground lamb. I have 2 pounds of ground lamb, and we're gonna add in all these seasonings to kind of make like a really nicely spiced meatloaf. So some of those same herbs that we're going to use, the dill, we're going to add that in there along with parsley and the rest of the mint. Mint goes great with lamb, and some cilantro. You can't have any kind of savory dish without garlic, at least that's what I believe. And we're going to add in some cumin, some cinnamon, some ground coriander, and smoked paprika. I diced 1 small white onion and season with a generous pinch of salt and pepper. And with some clean hands, you'll want to go and mix your ingredients together with your ground meat. Now you don't want to over mix because then it'll get tough, but you just want to make sure that your lamb is incorporated with all those good seasonings, all those good flavors, and of course those fresh herbs. So now that all of the flavors are uniformly dispersed throughout the meat, there's no big chunks of anything left over, we want to make our koftas by actually taking these skewers that we have soaked for at least a couple of hours in water. And the reason why you do that is because you don't want them to burn while you're grilling them. So putting that moisture back in helps to prevent that. And then what we do is just take a little bit of that meat mixture and make a little, kind of like a cylinder type meatball on your skewer, just like so. And just keep going until you're out of meat. You don't want these too thick because you want to make sure that they are cooked all the way through. So we're gonna make a beet salad, and to do that I roasted 1.5 pounds of both red and gold beets in the oven at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour until they were tender. I roasted them whole with the skin on, just dressed it in a little bit of olive oil, put it in the pan with a little bit of water so that it could steam, and I covered it. And then after that I let it cool down, cut into small little cubes, so this is bite size because it's gonna be for a salad. So now I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, because you wanna season at every step along the way. And then of course we're gonna make a salad dressing to go with our salad. And we're going to squeeze the juice of 1 orange. Go ahead and 2 fists this. And the juice of a lime. I'm gonna add in some olive oil, whisk that in so that way it'll emulsify. Season with a little bit of salt and add in a little bit of spicy mustard. And that is your salad dressing. We're gonna pour that over the beets. And we'll let that marinate and get all delicious. And to serve, we'll place it on a bed of lettuce. And we won't have to add any extra salad dressing because it's already there in our beets. And we will do that while everyone is enjoying their appetizers. Since I'm making a braised chicken with lentils, I'm gonna start with heating up some canola oil in a pan so I can brown the chicken. And you may have to work in batches because you don't want to crowd your pan. So once your chicken is browned on one side, you want to turn it over carefully and let it brown on the other side. This should take about 5 minutes or so. Once all your chicken is brown, you can remove it from the pan and place it on a plate to rest. Into that same pan, I'm gonna add in onions and garlic. Sliced garlic, 2 cloves. Once your onions become soft and translucent, you can add in the rest of your seasonings to your onion and garlic mixture. We're gonna add in our smoked paprika and some cumin. Add in our bay leaves, 3 bay leaves. And our red lentils, just a cup. Two cups of low sodium chicken broth. And a cup of whole tomatoes. We're gonna add all of our chicken back into the pan. Once all your ingredients are back in the pan, take your pan and put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes until your chicken is done and your lentils are tender. And while that's cooking, I have enough time that I can get my table ready for my guests to arrive. All right, so now I'm dressed and ready for my guests to arrive. So I'm just gonna get together my mezze platter, which is just an appetizer plate, so they can have something to nibble on when they get here. So I have some homemade baba ganoush that I made yesterday. So I'm gonna put some grape leaves, dolmas, directly onto the platter. And this is something you can put out some toothpicks or they can grab with their hands. It's an intimate group, so we can have some fun. And in between all of those, I'll put in some fresh pita bread, just for people to be able to grab and dip into all the different dippings we have today. And I also have some olives. And I'll put some marinated grilled artichokes also directly onto the platter. You can't have an appetizer without cheese, so of course I'm gonna add in some feta cheese to keep into the theme. And I have hummus, and lastly some tzatziki. Now all of these are dipping sauces, finger foods, along with your lamb koftas for everyone to enjoy. And now I just have to get ready and do those mint juleps. All right, so the last thing we have to do is make our mint juleps. We're gonna start by muddling some mint in the bottom of a pitcher, because we don't have to make it one per person. It's our signature drink for the night. So we're just gonna make one big pitcher full. So we want to crush the mint to release those oils and the juices. And then we're going to pour in a little bit of that simple syrup that we made earlier. Also has that cinnamon in it and cloves. And we're gonna muddle that as well. I'm gonna add in a little bit more. And then for the fun, we're gonna add in some bourbon. And earlier in the day, I made some Moroccan mint tea from Couples Tea House, and I chilled that. So that's what makes it a Moroccan mint tea julep. Add my tea in. And that looks like a refreshing drink for this especially hot day. And the last thing is just really to add in the ice. So when my guests arrive, there's a mezze platter ready. There's mint juleps, Moroccan tea mint juleps ready, and kofta lamb kebabs with a fresh herb yogurt sauce. So all I have to do now is wait. So while they're enjoying the mezze platter, I'll go out and get the salad plates together. Thanks so much for joining me for my Moroccan ladies party, and I hope you got some good tips. For more recipes and entertaining ideas, check out my website, biteswithapplewhite.com, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss an episode. Thanks Nadine for the cake, and for Couples Tea for the Moroccan mint tea. Thank you for coming. Now I've got to get back to this party.